Thoughts of replacing hotel staff with robots began to visit hotel owners with renewed vigor after the outbreak of the pandemic. In most proposals, we're talking only about partial AI replacement, but sometimes hoteliers, and sigh. It would be great if robots worked hard at all jobs and not a person who needs a salary and vacation. Meanwhile, history knows of an attempt to set up a fully robotic hotel. This is the Hen Na Hotel in Japan, which from 2015 to 2019 worked almost completely without people. At first it was written about that it was the first hotel in the world fully serviced by robots. Then, that artificial intelligence failed and the experiment failed. Today, judging by the reviews on YouTube, the management continues to promote the hotel as a robotic one. But this is more a bait for tourists than a real attempt to replace people with machines. The first Hen Na Hotel, translated as Strange Hotel, opened in 2015 in Japan near an amusement park in the town of Sasebo, Nagasaki Prefecture, at a distance from the big city, where the shortage of labor was an old and familiar problem. Initially, there were only 80 different robots in it, which were supposed to make up for the lack of staff. But then the company that owns the hotel decided to attract more tourists and began adding more and more robots, advertising itself as a hotel where only machines work. By the beginning of 2019, there were almost 250 of them there. The management fulfilled the task of becoming famous. The hotel got into the Guinness Book of Records as the first fully robotic hotel. Although the hotel's work was never absolutely inhuman, smart machines were still looked after by live managers. Many major world media wrote about it. In addition to the dinosaur robot, the journalists saw other workers at the entrance. A mannequin with pearl skin who designed the settlement of an entire family, and a garbage can perform in pop ballads. Inside, he got acquainted with the novelties of Japanese technology. Robot vacuum cleaners, robot gardeners, a toy orchestra ensemble, a luggage sorting device resembling a giant paw with claws, and 250 other devices that worked in the hotel. There are no people inside anywhere. The lobby is given over to vending machines selling digital water clocks, SIM cards, and virtual reality glasses. I register through something similar to a Talkin' M. It gives me a receipt with my room number. There are no keys here, and I go in the C's here, and I go in the keys here, and I go in the T's here. Indicated direction. No awkward conversations with the receptionist, although for travelers with heavy bags, there is something like a trolley with a motor. Instead of a room key, there's a retinal recognition technology. Unfortunately, in my case, I had to squint and writhe for about 5 minutes before they finally let me in. The decoration of the room seemed less impressive. The author was surprised only by the Churi, a talking doll that could tell the weather for tomorrow, call in the morning to wake up, or sing something in Japanese. In terms of functionality, Churi was suspiciously similar to an ordinary smart column, but do not forget that in 2017, smart speakers were not as common as they are today, and Makashiran's surprise is understandable. The traveler tried to find out from Churi which restaurant nearby is better to go to, but he heard goodnight wishes. And when asked if there's a room service in the hotel, I received the answer, 28 degrees. In all other respects, it was an ordinary hotel like a standard Travelodge, and yet what he saw made the journalist think about what the world of travel will be like in 25 years. With robot massage therapists, robot sommeliers, and robot pool keepers. The hotel made a similar impression on BBC journalist Spencer Kelly, who visited it in 2015. Kelly also faced difficulties translating from human to AEU. He asked Churi to turn off the light. In Japanese, after reading the transcription of the request in the booklet, but then he could not turn it back on, because he could not read the transcription of the corresponding request in the dark, and there were no switches in the hotel. Many other guests, of course, faced similar difficulties, and as a result, in 2019, 3.5 years after the opening, the Hen Na Hotel in Sasebo announced that it intends to reduce the staff of robots by more than half. As the Wall Street Journal wrote at the time, the experiment to reduce costs and workload on staff failed. The hotel announced that it is returning to a more traditional service that people will provide, and for this, it will rehire live workers. Some areas of hotel work were left to robots. where they managed to prove their own relevance and effectiveness. For example, Hen na in Sasebo retained the luggage pall. But I had to part with others, including the voice assistant Churi, who could not stand the competition with Alexa and Siri, who were gaining popularity. They lived in the devices of the guests themselves and knew the habits of their host better. It came to curiosities. So, the Wall Street Journal said that one of the hotel guests named Yoshihisa Ishikawa woke up several times during the night from the fact that Churi asked him, "I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. Could you repeat it?" By 6 in the morning, the exhausted Ishikawa guessed that this was how she reacted to his snoring, but he did not know how to turn it off. Another guest, having failed to get help from Churi, tried to call the front desk but did not find a phone in the hotel. He had to call from his own mobile phone to the company's general number to talk to the person. The dinosaur robots on the front desk, as it turned out, impressed travelers, but they could not replace real people. They, for example, could not make photocopies of passports, and people had to do it. In addition, they, as a rule, could not answer the guests' questions about the sights in neighboring cities and about airline flights. Already in 2019, people were working on the front desk of the Henan Hotel again. 2 robot porters also did not pass the reality check. Out of 72 rooms of the hotel, they could only get to a couple dozen on their own. Those that could be reached on a flat floor and without leaving the premises. They could not go outside, while the way to the different buildings of the hotel lies across the street. And in general, according to one of the guests quoted by the WSJ, they were too slow, made a lot of noise, and even sometimes bumped into each other and did not let each other leave. Nevertheless, he did not abandon the idea of using robots in hotels. Later videos from the Hanana Hotel in Tokyo show, for example, that humanoid robots continue to stand at the reception, and Unibo helps them a more advanced and modern robot that speaks different languages, the one that was supposed to be a voice assistant for guests at the Olympic Games in Tokyo in 2020. However, apparently, even the Unibo Olympian also does not yet understand very well what he's being told. When a video blogger struck up a conversation with him, Unibo suddenly asked him, "What is your favorite show?" The guest replied in English, "Thank you," wanting to end the dialogue, but Unibo was delighted. "I get you. Can I remember this?" Another video review of Tokyo Hen Na shows that there's no facial recognition system at the entrance to the hotel. Why bother if the guests perfectly pass into the rooms using ordinary magnetic cards? Another video from the end of 2020 shows that robots, including dinosaurs, are still working on the front desk of the hotel in Sasebo. Probably, over the years, artificial intelligence has tightened its knowledge of local attraction. Thanks for attention. Put likes, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click on the bell.